The snow falls like empty parachutes over this town of 10,000 as the low mutter of lantern light grazes over abandoned windows and as the shadow of our house staggers across the street like some forlorn titan. Beneath, a shell casing breaks the river's ice like an urn for the swept away, while the severed stone bridge leans inward, groaning, a shattered colossus. To feel so small in a world so suddenly looming. In this childhood, whittled away by loss, but then enlarged in its emptiness, there is a gap between the truth I can show you, a void of false hopes as hallowed to me as our now hollow house. On the top of a hill, lit by the frigid light of the moon, with a shovel in just my hands, there is a space I've tried to save from the frost and the snow and these empty parachutes, a space I've kept safe for you in this far frozen horizon, a gap in the truth I have kept dry and bare. You promised me that if I looked up, I'd see you return someday from the sky, drifting downward gently like some archangel newly fallen from heaven. You promised that if I looked just to the left of our favorite star, the one now endlessly obscured by the shuddering wings of passing bombers, that if I kept looking, one day I would see you there again. And I have kept my promise, as you said you would keep yours, and I've watched every night for some landing light to flicker, the slicing of an echo bounced off the oiled cloth of a white parachute, somewhere just above this hill and somewhere just above this gap. But as the winter grew taller and grew stronger, the snow, these empty parachutes, they never stopped falling, they only changed, with every flake appearing more and more like the truth. But I only dug faster and more desperately, and I only missed you ever more and more devoted to keeping this one gap clear, this safe place I promised to always save for you, this gap for you to swoop lightly down upon after so long from home. But even with the largest measure of my devotion, my small hands, they blistered, and badly, even beneath their gloves. I laid down my shovel then, and I laid down my faith in you, and I laid down in that gap, and I looked up. I finally saw, finally and clearly, what I knew so long ago, but it's so deeply buried. I can see now, and yes, now I know. There are no more parachutes. It's only just the snow. But still, I can't help but to ask and to reach out my small hand as I lie alongside this town of 10,000, now contracted and so constricted by the cold and by this truth. All I have left now, all I have left to ask, is that you take my hand just one last time, a small favor for your small boy, and that you please stay with me, stay here by my side one final time, and please, please don't leave me here all alone in this gap as it finally closes.